All right, welcome back to the show, everybody. Today is episode 473, and I am super excited to have my good friend Sheryl Stoller here. Sheryl Stoller is a wonderful parent coach of kids who are more, of parents whose kids are who are more. So welcome, Sheryl.
Hello, I'm so glad to be here, especially in this day and age.
Yes. So before we dive in,
Mhm.
tell my listeners what it means when you say kids who are more.
These are children who have a heightened experience of living.
Mm,
Everything is bigger, everything's bigger. They detect more in various arenas, they feel it more deeply, they have deeper, bigger needs, things are magnified, there are different arenas of there are five basic arenas. There's cognitive. You've got people who just their brains are going nonstop and give me more info, and arguing and discussing, and it's fun for them to get into it.
yeah.
High need for high stimulation in
Yes.
that area of cognitive stuff as well.
Hmm.
Emotional, those of us who are picking up, often called empaths,
Hmm.
picking up the tiniest nonverbal cues and verbal cues, energy of other people.
Hmm.
Our mirror neurons are catching it all, feeling it all. So we're feeling other people's emotions, heightened experience of that. So right now, for example, when the whole world's energy level and sense of alertness and threat is heightened, they're subconsciously feeling it all. And
Hmm.
that's too much. It's too much for all of us. It's happening to all of us. But those of us who have this heightened experience of living who are more that way, it's
Hmm.
even more. So it's even more incumbent on us to find our ways, and that's what our talk is about, to kind of get back to helping ourselves be able to soothe, to even in this environment,
Hmm.
find a way to smooth out our heartbeat and
Hmm.
our energy, and find the ways to create the environment that our children can feel no more, no less than they are feeling, instead of it
Hmm.
also being ours. So that's emotional, sensory, the ones who tact all the five senses, they feel things more deeply. The pain threshold is lower, and the pleasure threshold is higher. It takes more to feel good, and it takes less to feel pain. Um, Physical movement, the psychomotor area of being more, the body has to move. All parts of their body. Just that's how they process living. It's through a very kinesthetic experience of living. And what am I missing? Imaginational. Those who have this phenomenal video going through their head that they can imagine things, and it's all also tied into the physical. So they're experiencing it as almost as if they're living it.
Hmm.
Their body is living their thought.
Hmm.
And that's a hard place to be. So if a child is hearing the news in the background, for example, and imagining it, kind of living it, in fact, we adults are doing this too. It's really hard for us to know how to filter out that,
Hmm.
so that we can actually get back to a norm, get that back to the simplified, be here now. The way to, I mean, the paradox of all of this, it's giving it some big truths that have always been there, but now the whole world has to face it all at once. And our way through this is to be here now with
Hmm.
the connection, creation, and knowing that by taking care of us, we're taking care of the others. And by taking care of others, we're taking care of ourselves.
Hmm.
So all of that is going on right now. And these people who experience life more, it's all magnified. So
Hmm.
parents have a harder road to toe with these families. And it's usually not just the kids. Usually the parents are there too, because often these kids came from those. Does that
Right.
explain it?
It explains it beautifully, I believe. And so you will be one of the speakers
Mhm,
with Maria Sanders, who I'll be interviewing shortly.
mhm.
And you guys at our conference, Revolutionizing Parenthood, which is now digital and now free for all parents around the planet, because that's what we can do to help in this trying time. You and Maria will be speaking about parenting collaboratively and consciously with our children. And I think that that topic is more pertinent now with this pandemic than ever.
Before, it was for the parents of kids who are more, often called twice exceptional. Often many of them are twice exceptional, which is something we can explain in a minute. Um, but everybody now in these circumstances in essence, we're going through a universal trauma,
Mm-hmm.
adding a layer of trauma. And parents who have kids who are more, those kids were experiencing what we thought as little things as trauma, but in fact, now everybody's doing it. We serve ourselves and them and the world best by catching ourselves, feeling in our body, saying, we're on alert, we're on alert. Right now, it's warranted. It's sort of, okay, we're keeping ourselves safe. There's a reason we have this alert system, is to help. No, yeah, we do need to do our social distancing to keep ourselves safe and to keep others safe.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The process of doing that is the conscious parenting,
Mm.
consciously helping ourselves understand. And we have a process for that I've been teaching for a decade, of how to simplify that, for being an ally with our own body, our own system, the full system, of noticing the moments that our body is triggered. It's communicating with us all the time. And it is a tool we can use all the time. So
Mm-hmm.
we can notice it, understand that we're having a feeling, we are not the feeling, so that we can not let it run our show. We can be the conductor of our orchestra. There's so many different analogies we could use. And meet ourselves in the moment, just the moment, just do this one moment
Mm.
with compassion. And how do we give ourselves compassion in the heat of the moment, on a nanosecond? So we have tools for that we're going to be sharing with you. And with that, once we've taken care of ourselves, we can be there for our children. And using, understanding that their behaviors might seem out of the blue and unwarranted, but underneath it, it's needing a place to discharge all of that subconscious energy that they're picking up from the world around us, literally from
Mm-hmm.
us, from if the TV's on, etc. It's just coming out sideways
Mm-hmm.
because they don't know how to deal with it. In fact, we're having a hard time. And how we help ourselves be authentic with them and yet not scare them will
Mm-hmm.
be part of the collaborative proactive solutions process. So there's the conscious parenting, and collaborative proactive solutions. And we will be giving you very easy overview of the steps that you can take to help yourself in any given moment in this present environment, when in fact in the household itself, all of the things that had gotten pushed to the side, all the wounds, all the hurt feelings, all the I'm not seen in my household, for example, when parents are in their separate workspaces, whether it's working at home, in the home, with a job outside, or whether it's I'm taking care of the family and somebody else is doing a job that brings in the money, or they're both doing both, a whole lot of the issues are kind of put to the side to do the doingness of life.
Mm-hmm.
And now all of those things that had not been addressed are kind of, the scab's been pulled off, and that festering is coming to the surface, which is also making it harder on the adults. So what we are providing for you is a process, simplified process for helping yourself be with, process and release that so that you can be there to provide the energy and the what's called a lead nervous system. We don't talk about that, but I'm just bringing it up here so that you can help create what it is that you want in your household while in these unique, surreal circumstances right now. It will help prioritize. So I'm really looking forward to being able to share with you what Maria and I have put together for you to have the tools you need.
It's going to be fabulous. And I'm so excited thinking about our viewers tuning in and listening to the wonderful wisdom that you and Maria will be sharing. And right now, I was wondering, I'm thinking about these twice exceptional kids, these kids who are more, who feel everything more intensely. They need more movement. They need more structure. They have these big imaginations. They need to think or maybe argue or debate or something. They have all these needs, and maybe they were functioning pretty well, going to school, having the structure, having the routine, the outlets, the activities, the therapies, sports, whatever it was that they were doing, and their lives were pretty good, maybe. But now everything is disrupted. We're all stuck inside. They're probably not in school because I don't think any kids are in school pretty much right now. And what kind of useful takeaways could you offer to parents who are just kind of like deer in the headlights? Oh my gosh, my child is off the wall. What do I do? I'm going crazy here. We're stuck inside.
Right.
What would you offer to those parents?
I would offer compassion as your starting point.
Mm.
Because when they're in the part of the brain that's deer in the headlights, they get there more. The twice exceptional, I just want to explain to people what that in essence means. If you envision a stereotypic bell curve in terms of abilities at the far right end, or they also have learning differences, whether it be cognitive learning differences, social, emotional differences, physical. I mean, they're at both extremes. And often, not just often, some would argue for every giftedness moment, it brings with it a learning difference, a social difference, an emotional difference. Because the more you are of one, that means there's something that it's taking the place of the flip side. For example, incredibly visual, creative kids often have a hard time and are slow processors. Because if they're putting everything into visual, it takes time to put words into a picture and picture into words.
Mm-hmm.
So the gifts bring with it challenges.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so for us at home with them, first of all, many for whom don't fit into the school box or have barely pulled themselves together during the school hours, and they come home and they have to explode all of that bottled up kind of trying to hold themselves together. Now actually is an opportunity. Suddenly homeschooling, there's some phenomenal resources, and we'll mention the Bright and Quirky community. The Ideal has phenomenal resources. That one, we first have to get them out of the deer in the headlights part of their brain, back into the connected thinking. So we have to connect and comfort first, actually. So let go. The schools are probably setting things up, and you can say, you know what? I'm so grateful that you're there for us. Right now, we need to sort of de-escalate and recalibrate and get back into that part of our child's head. But for now, we're gonna sort of pace it so that we are infusing the sense of safety of this child feeling seen and not having to force them to do something. Forcing is not okay.
Mm-mm.
It's just, we can let go of anything about that. Your child is going to be okay, even if they don't learn the lessons that would have happened between now and the end of the school year. So our helping ourselves, this is big picture stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking for the mental health of our children in the long haul.
Mm-hmm.
We can do that now in how we handle the minutes of life.
Mm-hmm.
How we can learn from the homeschoolers. If you take what life is, what joy is, and say, whoa, how is that math? How is that science? What is your sparkly area? What really excites you?
Mm-hmm.
And whatever that child's area is, meet them and join them there and expand with it. I had one of my phenomenal, I'm honored to have been and be her parent coach, incredibly creative woman. They created plays. Each one, they put ideas for acting out certain things that had to do with a certain subject. So they sort of had pantomiming of the things that, so you can have fun, getting creative, learning in the ways that actually your child learns, instead of feeling you are no longer in that school structure box. Those schools that are using it and providing it for you, thank you, teachers. Thank you, administrators. I mean, they have done mind-boggling
Phenomenal.
things in short amounts of time. And yes, use them when and if and how the timing is right for your child to feed into that.
Mm-hmm.
And if your child just needs, I am in lockdown in my brain. I am in such agitation. I can't possibly do the tasks that are being done. For others, they might need community. I mean, so the extroverts, they might gravitate straight to that school room, Zoom room, but other ones might say, like, I'm in overwhelm. The ones that are picking up the energy, and or the schoolroom might be the release from the energy that's happening in our own house. So read your child, connect and comfort first is really, really key. Uh, remember what puts the sparkle in your child's eyes, so that you do those things. Play. I know this sounds like, really, Sheryl, in the midst of this, you want to talk about play? Yeah, I do.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Bring joy and bring it down to the five senses. Like, put out all your spices, maybe, or some of your manageable group of your spices,
Yeah.
and sort of play with what is your ideal mix of, and or which spices actually, man, like, I'm going to show, for those who can watch, this is my cinnamon bowl. I have it readily accessible in my office to fuel me. It's sort of, it brings me back to the here now and a pleasure sensation. So what are the pleasure sensations that happen for you in all of your different five senses for each of the kids? And you can figure out, get creative and make games of it. And those of you who are working from home, here you're now being given 2 full-time jobs. This is
Yes.
really hard.
Really.
And in my history along the way I was with a woman who was a stay-at-home mom, sole family support financially, and she worked from home with 4 kids in this very small apartment. What was her solution? Her solution, I don't have one nearby because I don't need it. My kids are grown and gone. She had a certain hat she wore.
Oh my
And she could
gosh.
write in work mode.
That is brilliant. Oh
Yeah.
my.
You know that brilliant person, by the way. It's Amy Armstrong.
Amazing.
And that was a cue. Like, right now, I'm doing the part that enables us to be able to be at peace here and to live and so getting creative about, and that when she had her hat on, I don't know if I'm combining different people in different situations, but having special boxes of things for the kids to do, not just the screens, something that truly engages all of their senses, the things that are sparkly for them, that enables them to be engaged and enthralled
Mm-hmm.
with special things while she's doing what she has to do.
I love it. That's such a great idea for parents.
Yeah.
Such a great idea. Because I know even for me, right? My kids are all home and we're still recording I'm still recording interviews. And so my office doors are French doors with glass. So they
Mm,
can come into I have two doors on either side. They can come to the door and I can be like, not right now, but how fun if I had a hat to wear and they could just glance in and go, oh, no, I can't bother mom right now. What a
that,
creative idea.
isn't it fun?
I love it.
Yeah, me too.
Well, geez, Sheryl, thank you so much for all of these wonderful ideas that you shared and concepts, because now is the time when these concepts and these teachings are vitally needed. I mean, you and I both know we parents need them all the time, but right now is crunch time. They're vitally needed. So thank you so much for sharing all of this and sharing the time with us today. And where can people find more about you?
Okay, it's Stoller Parent Coaching, and it's spelled like holler. It rhymes with holler. Stoller, Stoller Parent Coaching, on Facebook, on my website, which is stollerparentcoaching.com, and Instagram. And I'm also one of the 4 parent coaches with the Bright and Quirky online community that has this phenomenal resource for those kids who, as we talked about earlier, twice exceptional, both ends of the spectrum. Life is big and extreme. And what just happened, we just ended with a summit that had speakers that are phenomenal. So these speakers spend an hour each, 22 talks. In addition, every week there's something special for the Idea Lab people. They've got, we do group coaching as well. It's just this amazing community of people who are dealing with extreme circumstances. And now
Even
so many of
more.
us are dealing with extreme circumstances.
And
Um,
you have that on your website, right?
I
Under
do.
events?
Under events, exactly. It might still say upcoming, so because our web manager is busy. But go, and the summit, it has a picture of a goat with glasses.
Awesome.
Bright and Quirky online summit. Click on that and follow the register now, even though the summit's over, it will take you to the place where you could join our Idea Lab community.
Fabulous. Well, Sheryl, you are a wealth of resources for parents. Thank you for the work that you do.
Right.
And thank you for the time spent today. And I hope that my listeners will register for our Revolutionizing Parenthood Conference, which is now digital and free, and tune into yours and Maria's workshop.
Wonderful. Look forward to it.
All right, that wraps up today's episode. Wherever you are in this world, I hope that you make it a very compassionate day for yourself.